morning, wrestling fans. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024. Lance Brock here with you on this Thursday morning episode of GMWF. And I do actually have some good news to report to everyone. There is finally a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic now available right here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to podcasts at. Finally got around to talking about this past Sunday night's Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and also last night's episode of AEW Dynamite, where we found out that we will see some qualifying matches the next few weeks, and the ones who qualify will meet in a ladder match at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And we saw the aerial assassin Will Ospreay become the number one contender for the AEW World Championship by winning the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet. He will face the AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And I'm sure that is definitely going to be a very exciting match to see. Those two actually do have quite a history. And I mentioned this last night as well on 360 Wrestling Fanatic. If you can check out the episode of Swerve Strickland's podcast, Swerve City, where he had Will Ospreay on as a guest. Very good episode. Very good interview there. So in case you haven't heard it, I recommend checking it out. And last night I also went over some of the big NXT news from this week that we saw on Tuesday night. We found out about TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace once again appearing on NXT, and apparently she will be making 3 appearances this time. I also see that she is making big money from these 3 appearances, so WWE once again working with TNA, just like in the Royal Rumble. Jordynne Grace appeared in the women's one, which, to be honest, this is no surprise that it is Jordynne Grace appearing again. When the Royal Rumble appearance happened, it was reported that Jordynne Grace there in WWE, she went over very well in the back. And I even said I wouldn't be surprised when her contract is up, and it's not up now at this time. I think it still could be quite a while, but I was saying though, when her contract is up with TNA and possibly she's a free agent, I definitely wouldn't doubt there being interest on WWE's side, bringing her in, signing her right away from TNA. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised about that. And I'm sure she's going to have some really good matches in NXT after that impressive performance in the women's Royal Rumble match earlier this year. Also, on NXT. We saw the NXT debut of All Ego Ethan Page, former AEW superstar. And what I have seen is reportedly he has not signed. So June 23rd here in Taylor, Michigan, Clash Wrestling versus Alpha One. I'm sure he will still definitely be appearing, but I'm happy for Ethan Page. I think he's one of those guys, definitely a good worker in the ring, a veteran in the business, and in AEW for a while there, not really used as best as he could have been, and I feel that he deserves more of an opportunity. And there in NXT, I would say that a guy like Ethan Page could possibly be even a trainer or a coach there to help some of the younger talent, either with their in-ring work or their promos. Also, going back to NXT, working with TNA, of course, Ethan Page had a run in TNA as part of the North as Josh Alexander. And yes, I know they supposedly killed off Ethan Page's character when he was last there, back when it was still Impact Wrestling. But hey, it's pro wrestling, never say never. They could still bring him back, and maybe one day could see a reunion of the North. Also interesting, Ariana Grace, who competes for NXT, is the daughter of the TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella. And Santino Marella appearing at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony this year. Definitely, I hope this relationship between WWE and TNA continues. I think it's just for the business. Best for the business, I should say. And I would say TNA definitely the one who gets the most benefit out of this deal. And that is all for this Thursday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who listens. Hope everyone has had a good Thursday morning so far. Tonight we have TNA Impact on XSTV and Ring of Honor on Honor Club. I will be back tomorrow morning for the Friday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.